you mentally been handling that? Is it difficult for you, or is it something where you're just kind of rolling with the
Well, it's a new league for me. I haven't been here in a while, and high-scoring league, and lots of chances back and forth, and you kind of have to bring your A game every time. And yeah, it's been tough. Obviously, me and Vic, we want to give a chance to go up for the team each night, and sometimes we're disappointed ourselves, but the schedule doesn't stop and wait for us to regroup. So it's kind of nice actually as a goalie to get in the game again.
Yeah, for sure. And this is going to be a big confidence boost for you, kind of going into the next few games coming up here, just getting that win under your belt, and feeling like you guys had a really good third period at least.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's bittersweet for goalies where letting 4 goals. I'm happy we won, but that's not going to happen every night.
Now, looking back at the start of the season, are there any immediate goals in your game that you personally really need to focus on and kind of tighten up a little bit?
Yeah, there's a few things, but those are obviously secrets. That was me and BMW, the goalie coach, we work on, and I think we have some good stuff that we've learned, and consistency is key. The goalie is consistent, so that's something that I really strive for.
Now, do you think that the influx of injuries in Detroit and a lot of call-ups coming from here and a lot of injuries here, is that impacting what's happening up front for you?
I don't know, all the call-ups are the forwards, and then obviously good players, so we have a lot of capable guys to play in this league, so I'm not worried about that, but happy for them if they get called up. But yeah, I mean, I'm just a goalie. I don't really see a whole lot of the big picture.
Keep it in the paint.
Yeah.
Now, how's the rebound feel after that first period? In the second, you just the composure of really coming off kind of admittedly maybe not a great period, but to come in knowing your guys have your back and come away with a win like that.
Yeah, of course, I know that the team doesn't ever give up. I'm not worried about that. But most teams, the first period might be their strongest, and that's what I've been seeing. So again tonight, they think their best period was the first period.
Yeah, for sure. You got a great goalie room right now between you, Victor Bratstrom, Sebastian Costa. Do you guys are you pushing each other just for more playing time? And I mean, does it really invigorate you guys having, more just 2 other capable goaltenders in the locker room?
Well, of course, we every goalie wants to play every game, and the closest in Toledo right now, I think. He's getting some games there, and then obviously we don't speak a whole lot about the playing time situation with Vic, but we have mutual respect for each other, and we think about the game the same way, and it's a good thing for the organization to have capable guys, but it's a matter of showing it day in and day out, for sure.
And last one for me, being first home game of the month, I feel like being in front of the hometown fans.
Yeah, it's been a while, so happy that we won, but yeah, definitely I'd like the games to be more low scoring, especially at my end, so try to work on that.
Kyle, first home game in front of the fans in a month, how'd it feel?
Good. I mean, obviously when we started coming back there, you could feel the energy in the building, so I've been here for a couple of years and know how important these fans can be to us when we're playing at home, and tonight was no exception.
For sure. Now, in the second period, you kind of got dumped into the net there and responded in a way I don't think a lot of fans here in Grand Rapids have seen from that. Were you just trying to give your team a kickstart, or the wires just crossed for a minute there?
I felt like 2 or 3 times that shift, the same guy got me, and the refs aren't going to do anything. I had to stick up for myself, and I feel like as a team we can do a little more of that and make sure that we are sticking together and sticking up for each other and sticking up for ourselves. So, I was just trying to make sure that guy didn't think that they had us on the ropes there.
For sure, and you weren't the only one bruising. I mean, Giovanni Smith, Dominic Shine came out and really hammering the bodies out there. Is this part of your game plan? I mean, it's a high-powered Toronto offense. Were you guys just trying to break them down, slow them down now? Yeah, we know they're a skilled team. We knew we had them back-to-back, so obviously we were trying to wear them down a little bit, make sure we finished our checks and stay above their D. I think that was one of the big things. We know they like to jump into play, so making sure we finish our checks, the easiest way to stay above them. Yeah, that's good for me.
Now, the first 2 periods, really rocky, not the greatest. And you're a veteran here in this team and in the league in general. What was the message as one of the alternates kind of coming into the 3rd period and really kicking into gear?
I think we felt like we played okay. I think the coaches said, you know, in the first period we only gave up 1 even strength chance against, so we were playing all right. We just had to stay out of the box. They had 2 power play goals. But yeah, it was definitely rocky, no real rhythm to the game. And then we settled in once we got 1 in the 3rd there. We kind of felt like, you know, the game was on our side, and we just kind of stayed on it.
Yeah. Now, the last couple of games, they've been highly penalized. It seems like even on the road that you guys have been taking, you know, quite a few penalties and have some, you know, special team situations going on there. How do you feel like your special team units are really clicking now?
I think we know what we're supposed to be doing. I think there's still a couple things we can iron out, but I think the biggest thing is we're all on the same page. We're pulling on the same rope. We know what the job is to get done. They obviously have a really high-powered power play, and we knew that coming in. I don't remember the goals against on the power play, but I feel like we did a pretty good job overall. But obviously, giving them up early is not ideal. We want to make sure that tomorrow, you know, when we're on the kill, we kill it early, make sure they don't gain any momentum. But yeah, it's definitely been an interesting year with penalties, and it seems like there's been a lot, and it's definitely messes up the rhythm of the game a bit. So if we can stay out of the box, I think it's a good thing.
Now, do you think that it's kind of partially where you guys are just in the game and maybe slightly being reckless, or is it just the refs seem to be calling a lot more?
Yeah, I think the refs are calling a little bit more than usual. I think maybe, I don't know if they decided that before the year they wanted to call a lot of stick penalties or what it is, but especially, I don't know if it was last game, but the 3 in a row, I think we had at least 7 penalties, or 6 or 7. It's tough to get into a flow, lines get mixed up, and I mean, I think everyone knows that special teams kind of rule this league. It's tough to score 5-on-5, so the more we can stay out of the box, the better.
For sure. Now, last thing for me, with all the call-ups, there's always a lot of injuries, it seems like, regardless of the league you're in. How is that impacting the team in the room in general right now with a lot of transition going on?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunity for guys that feel like they deserve it. And you know, the guys that are here have been here and have played in this league, and I think the guys that are looking to, are being looked to make sure this team wins have done it before. So I think we're confident in the guys we have, and you know, I'm happy for Bergie getting up there and Zarnes and all those guys. But you know, right now we just got to kind of stick together. I think we like the group we have, and make sure that hard work is key here for us.
Coach, first home game in a month, was there a different feeling in the locker room amongst the boys?
Well, it's just good to get back. I mean, we've been on the road for so long. It just feels like we have been gone for a long time. So we talked about taking advantage of it and being home back-to-back games, and again back home Wednesday. We have to take advantage of these situations. So credit to the guys for battling back, and having the support of the crowd today was huge in the 3rd.
For sure. Opening up in that first period, it seemed like the boys really brought the physical play early on. Was that highlighted the game plan to really kind of grind this team down, slow them down?
Well, they're a skilled team, so you know, if our plan was to be physical, take away time and space, stay above, frustrate them. I think a lot of guys did that in the first period, and I honestly, like, I wasn't too frustrated with our first period. Just, you know, come out of there and we're down. And the PK wasn't all that bad. You know, we need, at the end of the day, we need not to call the goalies out. We need a save at certain times. So, and they know that.
And then last one for me, so I can tell you some of the boys.
Yelling, too much yelling.
You know, you top 3 forwards called up, and you know, you're coming up against one of the better teams in the league, shuffling lineups and all of that. Where did the guys kind of pull out a real big character win like this?
It's a good question, because we pull it out more often. No, I mean, those guys, we're missing some big pieces to our offense. Obviously, Zarnik is up, Bergie's up, Luff is up, but we're excited for those guys when they go up. So we're their biggest cheerleaders when they are up there. But again, when that happens, it's opportunity for other guys. I think some guys really stepped up to that. Pontus Andreasson stepped up, was great tonight. I thought Giovanni Smith played heavy and physical, and I thought Cross was very good tonight. Between the 3 of them, I thought that they played extremely well. I thought some of our young defensemen actually stepped up and played hard.
That's all for me.
Now, special teams have been a big deal in these last couple of games, very highly penalized games, lots of power play, lots of PK. How is that? Do you think that's because of reckless play, or is it just that refs are a little bit more living with?
No, I think at the beginning of the year, there's always a crackdown on a certain number of things, and they talk about there to be cracking down on stick infractions and stuff like that. So you have to be aware that you can't put yourself in those situations. But honestly, this whole year, you know, we've taken, I think, 4 or 5 occasions we're shorthanded 7 times, and I can't argue the calls because they've been calls. I'll be the first one to be critical of the referees in this league, but it has been the referee we have. We've taken some lazy penalties, and that's, when you take penalties against a power play that's running at 30%, if you take 3 penalties, the odds are against you, you're going to get one up. So we've just got to make sure we're not taking dumb penalties, and not taking retaliatory penalties, and not taking lazy penalties. And I can live with a guy making a big hit, saving a scoring chance, and keeping the puck out of our net. When we take some lazy penalties, those are the ones that are frustrating for coaches.
Yeah, and Hanas has been getting a lot of special team time. Is that something that's coming directly from above, or he's just really performing well in those situations and just keep putting them in?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, there's an expectation of Cross to develop in certain areas, and at a certain point, you have to make a decision. Is it warranted? Keep trying him. Keep trying him. And I think he's been fine. For a coaching staff, as long as you're seeing growth, as long as you're seeing learning from your mistakes, as long as you're seeing competitiveness, which I think you're seeing from him in all 3 of those facets, you can't not be happy for him.
Now, about Housey specifically, the goaltending situation's been a little rocky. Specifically with him, he's kind of struggled to get his season off to a good start.
Yep.
What was the mentality after the first and second, going into the third down still, about keeping him in instead of swapping for Preston? Was that just like let him play it out and work out the kinks, or?
Well, we debated it behind closed doors, but we did the same thing with Kosa in Texas. He let up his first 3 goals in 3 games, so he settled in nicely and made a couple big saves in the third period, so you can't discount that, but usually he'll be the first one to tell you he's got to be way more consistent. We need a big save at the right time.
Right.
He's not telling you anything, or I'm not telling you anything that he won't tell you, but at the end of the day, we just got to make sure that we're a little bit more consistent than that.